Jim, one topic that a lot of listeners have sent in, I have an email here, sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com. This is from Matthew Maitland. Interested in your thoughts, Jim, on jobber now being a derogatory term. And this is a tweet attached from Dustin Rhodes. Please stop using the term jobber. It is extremely disrespectful to everyone who is putting their bodies on the line each week. All of us are enhancement talent.
Oh, good Lord.
We enhance each other's careers. Show compassion to everyone that steps in this business and works hard, enhancing others.
Oh, Jesus.
Hashtag keep stepping.
Yeah, right on out the door. No, I like Dustin. I'm not knocking Dustin, but goddamn, has everybody just lost track of their fucking senses? And everyone has gotten so sensitive. Jobber can be used as a derogatory term, as can a lot of other regular words, depending on how they're applied and in what context or what individual or people or whatever the case. But no, this is another example of something that nobody thought twice about at one point in time that now has somehow become an issue because people got too many things to fucking worry about that aren't important. And this comes from knowing many jobbers. Again, in the 80s or the 70s, guys would say about themselves, hopefully I'll go to TV next Saturday in Atlanta and do some jobs, or I'm one of the guys that goes over and does jobs for Mike Jackson. Or it was an industry term anyway that none of the fans were using that to begin with, so it wasn't like that they were using it as derogatory comments about somebody else's favorite. He's a jobber. They didn't use that word to begin with. It was only in the business. And the jobbers knew that they were jobbers, job guys. And a promoter would call a fucking guy that had some guys. Hey, can you get me 5 guys to do jobs on TV? Sure, whatever. And, I'm not saying that at some point, some guy in the locker room would look at some other guys. He's nothing but a fucking job guy. But it wasn't a goddamn mortal insult of what the fuck? Why is this an issue now? It's just a common term that's been used in the wrestling industry inside forever, and nobody was upset about it on either side of the fence. And now it's a goddamn debate.
Yeah, his father certainly used that term a good deal.
Yes, and sometimes you'd see Dusty's lineup. He'd like versus Jobber or whatever. You didn't even fill the people's names in until you saw who showed up because it was just a breathing person to do a job, which, as we know, means to lay down, to get beat for the star that you're trying to push. Do a job for him.
Yeah, it's an industry term that in the era of newsletters and the emergence of smart fans got out, is kind of used beyond wrestling even. It's weird now. You see headlines in the newspaper. I saw one about, it was a baseball story about the Mets getting someone in a trade. Mets acquire longtime heel. Like, what? It's just weird. You now see wrestling terminology in everyday life. Jobber, jabroni, is like one of those things, but it started inside. So is Dustin saying this to fans or is he saying this to other wrestlers?
I have no idea. He's trying to make sure nobody gets their feelings hurt. And that's another jabroni, as you mentioned, is just wrestling slang for jobber, and The Rock didn't invent it. The Rock picked it up when he was a kid. Lawler was saying it on his interviews on Memphis TV in the 70s. Call it, whoever that he was working with, some fucking jabroni. And it existed in wrestling for years and years and years, and suddenly now people are getting their feelings hurt. If you're Brian, if you're in acting, are you not allowed to be called an extra? Because that's what Vince used to call them. He tried to get away from job guys and into extras because that sounded more TV. But now, if this is the case with the wrestlers, then are the actors allowed to be called extras, or is that disrespectful?
Well, here's the other issue. Jobber, enhancement talent, extra, whatever you want to say. Are there even that many on wrestling TV nowadays? There's a difference between job guys and guys who always do jobs. Or is he saying they're being called jobbers? I mean, that's the thing. Like, what? We don't know what he's saying, obviously, but it's bizarre because who's he saying this to?
And well, a lot of times another word for job guys is local. You can see the lineup and so-and-so versus local. Some guy that shows up and get his ass beat. He's from there. We didn't have to fly him in, whatever. It's not being disrespectful. It's being realistic to these guys and what their standing is in the community at the current time. And that doesn't mean it can't never change, because a lot of the major stars of any goddamn decade started in the business doing jobs, getting beat, jerking a curtain every night, if they even got booked every night.
All right, well, that was the Dustin Rhodes jobber question taken care of there.